Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is visualization and other techniques for manifesting. So before we get started, I think it'll be a really fun topic. But before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. And let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing every cell, every organ, and bringing vital life energy throughout your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, any stress, negativity, fatigue. And now take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, energizing, electrifying, and illuminating all your cells, all your electrons, all your molecules, creating this beautiful glow from the inside out. And as you exhale any remaining stress or tension, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together. Very softly, let's rub our fingers against our palms just to feel the deliciousness of that tickling and the tingling and the wonderful sensation, and allow yourselves to become present right here, right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to talk about visualization and other practices for manifesting. And not everybody is as competent with visualization as other people are. Good morning, Abdullah Fattah. It's wonderful to have you here as always, and everyone else who's joining us. We're talking about visualization and manifesting types of practices, and how to be most effective in bringing forth the results that we want in our lives. There have actually been studies done about athletes who have practiced versus athletes who have mentally rehearsed their performances. Good morning, Roslyn. Great to have you here as always. Welcome, welcome. So we're talking about visualization and other manifesting practices. And so these studies that have been done with sports performers, sports experts, show that mentally rehearsed performance is often more effective than lots and lots of physical practice, which is really, really interesting. I don't think you can get away with just mental exercise, but the reason that I've understood from what I've read as to why it's more effective is that in the mental rehearsals, it can be perfect every time. And so what happens is we repeat this over and over, this perfect practice, and it becomes patterned in our neurology and even in our physiology. And whereas with actual practice, there are errors that occur and mistakes that occur, and those get patterned in as well. So it's interesting to imagine that our imaginations are extremely powerful devices for creating outcomes. And with this imagining, one of the things that I've encountered as a bit of a challenge is that I haven't yet cultivated the facility to see the things in my mind's eye. I can describe them to myself, so I'm more auditory. I can more describe things, and when I describe things, then I get to see them a bit better. But the actual visualization is not my particular forte. Rosalind says, like golf, I could see one, visualize it before the physical backswing. Exactly. And also to practice when not even on the golf course, in your mind, to imagine the stance, to feel it in your body. And that brings us to another really important part of this whole manifestation idea or practice. Good morning, Dennis. Welcome, welcome. And that is to have the feeling experience of it, to have an emotional experience of it, to feel it in your body. So it's the emotion that powers the visualization, that powers the impact, or that magnifies the impact of whatever the practice is, whether it's describing these things to yourself or imagining how you're going to feel when you achieve that thing. So not only is it the golf swing itself, for example, feeling in your body, imagining how that feels, imagining how it feels when the club connects perfectly with the ball, and then watching it fly off into the distance and feeling the exhilaration of having that wonderful shot. So I'm not a golfer, so if my lingo is off, please forgive me. Good morning, Hope. Good afternoon to you, Hope. Good morning to everybody else here in the U.S. It's great to have you here, Hope. I hope everybody is having a great day. It's wonderful to be kicking off my day with you guys. I'm so appreciative of that. So when we are looking to create a result in the world, one of the things that makes our desires and our goals so important to us is not necessarily just the thing itself that we're looking to achieve, but it's also, and maybe even more so, the emotion that we're hoping to experience as a result. So, for instance, we talk about achieving financial freedom. Well, what is the intention of financial freedom? It's so that we can feel the hopefully the relief from stresses around money. Hopefully that's the intention, right? With financial freedom is to be able to have the freedom, the feeling of freedom and opportunity and possibility. And so if we can, one of the things that Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, talks about in terms of manifesting is to experience already having the thing that you're looking to manifest. So to feel the feelings, the delight of having that feeling already, that thing present in your life. And by way of experiencing those feelings, we then essentially become a magnet for those feelings. So we draw them to ourselves because we're broadcasting on a particular frequency, on a certain wavelength. It's like tuning into a radio station and being on the right channel to get the programming that we're looking for or that we enjoy. So we're tuning ourselves. Good morning, Christina. Good morning. We're talking about manifesting and how we bring those things about. So we've identified that if you're able to visualize, that's really powerful. If you can visualize with vivid colors and maybe close up, or maybe to be able to have a bird's eye view, to see the whole thing as a bigger picture from above even, and then be in the midst of whatever it is you're looking to manifest. And another another thing that we can do that adds to the experience. The more senses that we can add to the experience, the more vivid it becomes for us. And so if we can add odors or aromas, our sense of smell is one of the most powerful senses when it comes to memory. Olfactory memory is one of the strongest sense memories that we can have. And so if we can add these additional senses, a sense of smell, maybe even a taste in our mouth. Good afternoon, Pat. Wonderful to have you with us. Welcome, welcome. If we can add a sense of touch, for instance, if we can imagine ourselves touching the things in the environment that we're looking to create, feeling the deliciousness of the sensations of touch and texture, then that also serves to enhance the richness of this experience. And no small part of this is feeling in your body what it feels like to move through the space, or to have this emotional experience and response to what it is you're creating in your mind's eye and in your heart and in your body. And the more we're able to literally embody this experience, the more real it becomes for us. And as it becomes more real for us, again, it's like tuning the stations on a radio, and we attune ourselves to the frequency that we are looking to attract. So I'm wondering if any of you guys have had experiences with these techniques where you've actually been able to manifest things into your life that you intended, or that were even better or more amazing than what you had imagined. And this is another key, actually, is to not be focused on the how, not be focused on how this is going to happen, but to be focused on enjoying the result of it. And the reason that we don't focus on the how is that the universe often has a much more creative and expansive way of fulfilling our dreams and desires than we might even imagine. And I think that we can even think about that, for instance, in terms of vocation. For instance, if we think about what we would like it to feel like to be doing, to be fulfilling our purpose in the world, how will it feel? The exhilaration, the magic, the joy of that. What is it going to, feel like? We don't even necessarily have to know what it's going to look like or how it's going to appear, but to feel the wonder and awe and joy of the experience of it is very, very, very powerful. So years ago, I guess it was in 2017, maybe even before 2017, I think it might have been before, where I created a statement for myself of my vision of my life, how I wanted my life to be. And every time I said it, it was like an invocation. It was a invocation of the life that I wanted. It gave me tingles down my spine. So here's how it goes. And for me, this is my sort of invocation. So it is, oh wow, isn't that funny? Wow. I am blocked at the moment because I think my attention went to reading the chat. So I'm going to go to the chat, and now I remember it. But I'm going to go to the chat, and then I'll come back to telling you about it. So Rosalind says, my friend Auntie Jean Lotion, I don't think that's probably the name, said, like a sculpture, the edges get chipped away and slowly the sculpture will take shape. Exactly, exactly. So here it is. I work and play in the realm of magic and miracles with world shapers and paradigm makers as a peer. And for me, speaking that was the epitome of the vitality and the energy and the magic and the wonder of creating and being on the cutting edge with exploring new ideas and making a difference in the world. And it was sort of a shorthand for being able to create a wonderful life. And now, these years later, I I am doing that. I'm working with people through sustainability now that are making all kinds of difference in the world, and with my coaching practice, and really shaping new ideas, and um, helping to create a world that works. So it's been super, super, super powerful. And I didn't have any idea how it would manifest. I didn't know it would show up as podcasts and my coaching practice and connecting people in the sustainability realm. And I had no idea. But what happened was every time I said it, it invoked this powerful experience for me, and then the universe complied. It's like I tuned in the radio, and the universe said, oh, okay, we can do that, and no problem. And that's what I encourage all of us to be doing, to be invoking the life of our dreams and the things that we desire. So Christina says, I haven't done it with material things, but I've used it for test taking, imagining me answering and successfully completing the test, as well as before public speaking. It did help bolster my confidence and success. And you make a really good point there, Christina, in that when we have that confidence, we perform better. So it's just a natural progression. Uh, we visualize it, we have the confidence. When we have the confidence, we are making better decisions. So Rosalind says it was Jean Lorio. Thank you. I didn't think it was lotion. That's great. And Christina says, thanks. That says, that's a great saying, Mira. Thank you. Yes, for me, it's shaped my life in a very powerful way, and is still emerging and evolving. And it's something that I feel I can grow into for pretty much the rest of my life, that it can keep growing and keep expanding. And each word in that kind of invocation that we might create for ourselves is a super powerful word, often a shorthand for a whole conversation behind it. So I work and play in the realm of magic and miracles. For me, the magic and wonder is one of the most important aspects of living, like living in that space of wonder and awe and connection with the magic of the world is for me what lights up my heart and soul. And with world shapers and paradigm makers, meaning we are creating our world, and let's make a difference is also part of that, is like what is underlying that phrase for me. And as a peer, meaning I'm not the boss, I'm not an underling, I'm walking arm in arm with these other people in the world to be bringing about a world that is a wonderful place to be. And so, in addition to the visualization, the emotion what powers all of it. And so for me, that invocation really brought forth the emotion, and still does. It's still profoundly inspiring to me to be to experience being present to the magic and wonder, and to be actively engaged. That's also a big part of what that statement represents, is to be actively involved in the creation of my world. So I wonder, back to what you're saying, Christina, is that the confidence when we are experiencing, especially when we experience confidence, then we're better able to make decisions without hesitation. We're better able to take right action, and I'm talking about an internal confidence rather than an egoic confidence necessarily, not like thinking that I know everything and I'm always right kind of thing, but more like feeling connected and confident in that way. So all of that contributes to the power of our ability to be creating our desired outcomes in the world. And another aspect of this, on maybe a less deliberately manifesting type level, is to recognize that what we put our attention to multiplies. So when we put our attention on positive things, we see more positive things, we feel more hopeful, et cetera, right? We are potentially more productive. When we put our attention on negative things, we tend to see more negative things. And our experience of those. So part of manifesting is directing our attention and our intention. And we do that in all kinds of ways. We do that through our thinking. We do it through our speaking. We even do it through our physiology. Physiology is powerfully linked to our emotional experience. So if we're slumped over, there's a lowering of energy. It's moving into sort of a depressive stance, and our body takes a cue from the physiology. Try slumping your shoulders and hanging your head. Sorry, Maggie. And you'll see that that you go down in frequency when you stand up and you sit upright and you're energized. What happens is you become energized. There's a whole different physiology when you hold your head up, literally. And so these are also ways that we can start to manifest. I have a friend who used to do a superhero pose before going and doing a speaking engagement, like da da da, and to feel like a superhero before going and doing speaking. Why? Because it changes your physiology. It changes the frequency with which you're vibrating, and it changes what we attract to ourselves. So I wonder if any of you have ever tried that. It makes me smile just to be thinking of striking the superhero pose. But I bet if you did a search on YouTube, you'd probably come up with some very funny but potentially powerful examples of people doing that. And I'm wondering if you have any other tips or tricks that you might want to share for manifesting. I'm sure that you have played with it at the very least, or that you have accomplished it, even if you weren't necessarily conscious of it. So here's an interesting example of manifesting, although it wasn't a desired result, but it was definitely manifesting. And that was at one point I was in a job. I was in a sales job, actually, where I was an outside sales rep in the optical industry. Ouch, Maggie, no biting. And at one point I was just so frustrated and upset that I just said, that's it. By the end of the year, I'm done with this. And I had so much emotion behind it. And then I totally forgot. And then by the end of the year, like right at the end of the year, I had this parting of the ways with my employer that I really hadn't anticipated. They gave me an ultimatum of either reducing my commissions or leaving, and I was like, nope, I'm done. And that was completely unanticipated. It wasn't even something that at that time I desired. It kind of set me into a whole spiral that I had to navigate. But it was the power of that emotion and then just letting it go, and it manifested. And so the steps for manifesting is have the intention, power it with emotion, and then release it, rather than continuing to focus your attention on it. And that's exactly what happened, even though I wasn't aware that I was doing that at that time. Rosalind says Pinterest for interior decorating. You know, I love Pinterest. I love Pinterest. It's so visual. And I love going there for ideas and also to collect ideas. And it really is a powerful tool for being able to visualize, for me especially, because it's fascinating to me. I have a bunch of clients where we do sort of a part of the process that I do through Core Connection is often visual. You know, it's connecting with the symbols or representations in your mind. And some of my clients are so brilliantly visual, where all these vivid images come through their minds, and it just blows me away every time. It's so remarkable. But for me, Rosalind, Pinterest is a really great way to be able to get visual ideas, and to help to anchor some of those ideas in the visual. So yeah, it's a great place to play, Pinterest. So manifesting, really, really great stuff. And for me, visualizing, the way that I'm able to ultimately visualize something is to describe it to myself. So for instance, if I want to see a red apple, I need to describe it to myself. I see this shiny red apple, and I can imagine the light kind of reflecting off its polished surface, and I can see maybe some speckles in it, and I imagine these things. And as I speak it, what happens is that I'm able to formulate a better image by describing it to myself. So interesting, the word imagine has image in it, right? To create an image of, but we can create verbal descriptions, and we can create olfactory or smell type sensation aspects to our experience. We can add touch, and we can add emotion. We can add a sense of movement or physicality to the experience to enrich it and anchor it even more deeply within ourselves. So I hope this has been as fun for you as it has for me. I love talking about manifesting and actually utilizing those practices. And the interesting thing is that we can use these techniques of our sensual experiences to shift our experiences from the past, to shift experience of trauma. It's not just for manifesting into the future, but it also enables us to shift our experiences from the past. We said one of the ways to make an experience more vivid is by giving it bright colors or vivid sound or strong sensation. One of the ways to dissolve trauma, for example, from the past is to shift those submodalities. So, for instance, if you're seeing something over and over, I remember a family member told me about when they cut themselves and they were having some sort of PTSD really as a result of having cut themselves by accident, by the way. And they kept saying I keep seeing this blood. There's so much blood. And of course, the blood was bright red, and by just changing the image to black and white, all of a sudden it denatured the power of that experience. And they later told me, "Thank you. It made all the difference because it wasn't as powerful and frightening and horrifying an image anymore." So we're remarkable creatures in the way that we integrate information and the way that we process information. And we get the opportunity to use that to our advantage, both toward the future and toward the past, and not to mention in the present. So with that, I think I'm going to call it a morning. And as always, it's such a gift and pleasure to be here with you. I'm Mira Rubin. This is Maggie. And together we're the Core Connection. We go live each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. And I invite you to engage with the community and become part of the community and Enlightened World Network. Really rich and heartfelt group of magnificent people. And until next time, imagine your beautiful, beautiful life. So much love to you guys. Take care.